Jump right back into it. So now we're going to validate the contributing documentation. We're going to do this by looking at the console test. I think you'll remember that we played around. I believe this was on a stream of consciousness, as it were. Um, okay, so where did it go? Here. So let's check this out. Okay, yeah, so this is probably a good thing to have. We should probably say install latest known working version. Okay, yeah, that's important. Okay, so let's choose us, um, us or readme. Okay, so latest known working version. Okay, and we're just leveraging the same commands that are on the install page. So if you were to read docs installation, then you would come across the same type of stuff here. Okay, so okay, let's replace these archive URLs with whatever our last commit was. So what was it? It was this. Okay, and we'll just say create a new virtual and activate it. All right, so and how do we do that? Well, it's just python-m vnv.vnv and then dot vnv, or let's see, let's pull it actually from DFML docs installation, and let's do, oh yeah, that's right. Okay. Okay, so what do we have here for domain package? So we tell them that they should, okay, do setup tools pip and wheel. Okay, let's tell them that they should create a virtual environment. Okay, and we'll just say, you may want to create for any permissions issues. Okay, and then always update pip setup tools and wheels. Good practice there. Keep things sane. So let's remove the test blocks. Okay. Okay. All right. Let's get rid of the rest of this stuff. All right. There we go. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's see. So installation. Okay. Okay. So this little disclaimer about the install, little virtual environment creation, a little bit of installation there. Okay. With the okay, so note, and then we have the note. Okay, great. All right. That looks good to me. All right, so let's call this git status git commit entities else readme else readme install uh, last known good version with within VNV. Let's take a look at our README. Okay, so, and we should probably link to our little explainer on Alice with the whole tutorial series in docs, tutorials on Alice. Okay. Okay, we'll just say, see this for more information on Alice. She is our developer helper. And we'll just add that and we will commit that on up. Okay, so README, add link to, I guess we can just do, yeah. Yeah, I think we can do that. Okay, we'll just do that. Okay, add link to tutorials hard coded to GitHub render of docs. And we'll just add a little note, docs site currently down. Okay. Give a little refresh. Okay, so see rolling Alice for more information on Alice. She's our developer helper. Okay, great. Okay, that gives that link. Okay, so this needs a backlink still. So DFML only supports 3.7 to 3.9 on Linux. Pi and Vi. Okay. Okay, so then this section is not correctly formatted right now, but you get the gist of it. So then, yeah, it doesn't really matter. You understand what to do. So then Python m pip install. Okay, so let's run through and try these and make sure that we can do this. Oops. All right. Okay, so I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. arbitrary size. Okay. All right, let's go. So I'm gonna do this and then we'll clip it. Okay. So for those of you who are following the stream, I'm going to reset now as if we're resetting, and then we'll clip the video for this specifically so that people can jump right in here. So. All right, so yeah, we're looking at Alice today. This is the code base, and we're wanting to get spun up to get contributing. First thing before we get contributing, we're going to want to go and test it out and see what the existing functionality is like. So we'll go ahead and start ourselves a shell here, make ourselves a temporary environment, mktemp-d. I'm almost out of disk space, so we'll see how this goes. Okay, so we want to python-m vmv. We're going to create our virtual environment. Do .vmv bin activate the virtual environment. Right, and then we do our install. We upgrade pip setup tools and wheel. And we update these packages because they're commonly out of date after the creation of a virtual environment, or just in general. And sometimes our dependencies depend on these, which are the packaging utilities being installed and up to date. So now we download the development version of DFML identified by the git SHA. And so we update this git SHA periodically with the sort of last best known development version, and then we'll use the PyPy dev releases and stuff eventually. We're just not there yet. So we're installing from the zip repos. Now the zip repo offers you slight benefit in performance. I haven't tested versus the tar file at all. I think it's pretty much the exact same, but definitely over the Git repo itself, it doesn't do the depth, so it'll clone the whole history. You don't need the whole history, you just want the zip. So, all right. So now that we've got Alice installed, where was she? There she is. We're going to, oh yeah, and we can add -log debug to any Alice or dfml command to get debug output. So now we want Alice to uh, create a new project for us. So actually this should be public and my new Python project. Let's see. Okay, so PDX Johnny, my new Python project. Okay, so what's in here? Git clone. All right, so we created the project through the GitHub command line using the GitHub CLI. Oops. And then we need to clone the repo. So https git clone https github.com/pxjohnny/ my new Python project. We have cloned an empty repository. All right, okay, well, we know that. So yeah, this is all sorts of wrong. This is another one of those things that I just threw in here without looking at it or running it. So we'll git add test and we'll make the initial commit. Okay, so now the repo has some contents, right? So we've got this little test file. And it says hello world. So here's our repo. And now along, comes Alice hypothetically, and we're going to ask her if she can please contribute the recommended community standards to this new repo of ours. So she's going to go and she's going to say, okay, it looks like a repo URL. I'm going to pull it down. I'm going to analyze it. Now I'm going to look for a README. I'm going to create a README. So contribute README MD, and then she's going to create issues to track things. And so let's go over to the issues, and we'll see that she's created this meta issue, right? Okay, so, and she's operating as our account here, right? And so also using the GH command underneath, and we can say, all right, looks like we're good to go here. Looks like Alice, you've actually created a pull request for us as well, which fulfills the requirements of the issue. So we can just go ahead and merge in that pull request, and then our issue will be closed. And now with this meta issue, all the items checked off, we can go ahead and close the issue. So now what we're going to be doing is we're going to be writing more overlays to add more fields, to the meta issue, right? So we're going to be looking at security, code of conduct, etc. And then we'll move on eventually, after we figure out how to get overlays working there and contribute those, then we're going to move on to starting now extending to even more commands rather than just for please contribute the recommended community standards. All right, great. Okay, so break, demo over. So now what do we need to do? So we did the demo. Yeah, we got the install working. Okay, we totally didn't cover how to contribute. Okay, so I got nice space. That's what we're supposed to be doing. Okay, great. So that means we'll just clip this. Okay, so now let's get set up for contribution. So if you're working on Alice and you run into a problem, that means you got to backtrace. Yeah, Python has this handy dandy built-in debugger which you can use, and you can just run her through the debugger. And also, if she's not showing up in your shell with the path, you have a path issue, you can run her with that Python-m. So okay, so let's get set up to work on Alice. So we will say, okay, so this is this directory. All right, okay, so now we'll clone dfml, and we'll clone off Alice, and this repo can be big sometimes, so we'll see what happens. I think we need to go remove a few more the PDFs that are in there. We'll get to that, but not soon, so unfortunately. Yeah, 569. Yeah, I think it's those PDFs. That was not the best move on my part. I put a PDF in there. Okay, so let's cd dfml. Okay, so cd dfml entities Alice. And okay, so let's go ahead and uninstall those things that we just had. Oh, that's why I was showing it this way, yeah. So let's go ahead and uninstall. Oh, we're gonna switch the Y on that, all of those. And if we don't uninstall them, you're gonna be wondering why your code's not running, and it's because it's using the other version and not your version. So, okay. And then, okay, yeah, then we go through and we install them. And we use this dev extra to say, hey, please install the stuff that we're going to use to develop on Alice as well. So not just run, right? So we can add that when we run as well, but there's no point because we're just running, we're not developing. So okay, great. Looks like it installed. No, it's still going. So yeah, so okay, so this next thing is about how do you see all of the data types that you have to work with, and so this might change around a little bit. This section is probably going to change a little bit, but right now what we've got is Alice CLI, and then the Git. it is as please contribute CLI data flow. So we export, we give the entry point style path to the thing that we want to export, and then we export it out to wherever that is. And so this now gives us the open architecture format document, and this is this would be a data flow manifest. Um, yeah, this is a data flow manifest, which should be taken as the only document with, if we were to look at this as an open architecture document, we would say uh, there's no overlay or orchestrator specified, therefore this is the upstream, and the upstream is of type uh, uh, data flow. So, okay. Um, and then from there, you can do from there, we can say, I'm just going to pipe this through an HTTP server so I can grab the output, because it's over the, let's see, so dfml service, oh yeah, dfml data flow diagram, and then whatever that file name is. So let's check that out, and let's jump over and say, there's the mermaid diagram. There's the mermaid diagram. Oops, don't PNG. We want scalable vector graphics. All right, let's check out what this looks like. Okay, wow, look at that. Okay, so this will show you in a visual form, what are all these things and how are they all linked together, right? And so if you're a human being, then you can go and you can turn this into a human process, right? That you can do with the data without having to automate it. So you get kind of some communication there. So, all right. So let's continue on our contribution journey here. So, where were we? Okay. Okay, so making a game plan. Okay, so now looking at, so we're contributing something new in this event, right? And so we're looking at this giant diagram, and we're like, well, how do we what do we want to do, and what do we care about adding to this? Well, so in our example here, we're going to say that a repo may have a config called myconfig. Um, now, if the repo has a config called myconfig, we should use that. And maybe eventually we should, maybe eventually we might even go so far as to feed that into the issue body, right? Because you want to know the name or something, or you're going to go get the contact information or something, right? Yeah, or maybe you have an overlay on this that says, okay, if these recommended community standards aren't, instead of like the issue creation overlay that we have, you would have one that says go email somebody, but you need the name of the email from the myconfig, right? Okay, so now you're going to write this little myconfig flow. So and how are we going to do that? Well, we need to make a game plan. So we know that myconfig is a JSON file, and that it contains a single property right now, which is the value of name, which is name, the name property, right? So we want to check if it exists, and if it doesn't exist, we want to bail out, right? Nothing more to do here. In fact, nothing more to do on the either. Nothing more to do at all. And then the subsequent, if the data is not there, the subsequent operations just don't run. So just bail out, then nothing, no more, nothing to do. Okay, so yeah, if it is there, we want to read in the contents, parse it as JSON, and then return the parsed contents. Then before we do anything with that, we want to validate it, right? So probably use JSON schema or something. Maybe my config is a manifest, in which case a manifest ADR should have an accompanying schema. So then, we should do some validation there. Right now, we'll just do it to do. And then finally, we should return the name property of the parsed contents. And so there's a little bit of documentation around, how the data flow orchestration works itself. But of course, you can call the functions on their own if you wish. So you can just write, other files, right? But we're going to try to keep things modular. here. So my config. All right. So writing operations. So yeah. Okay. So um, okay. Yeah. So let's write just this stuff, and we'll. I'm gonna go quickly here to just validate the docs, but we'll say cat. Okay. So and we're supposed to be in yeah entities Alice right now. So cat my config.py. Okay. And I'll bring this up in the syntax highlighted version so you can see it. And okay, so we've got this code. Once again, I haven't tested this code, so I have no idea if this works. So we're going to see what happens. Um, okay, so now we run the doc test, right? So we write regular code like we would. We run the doc test. We find out that pathlib is misspelled. Um, I feel like there was another thing that I forgot. Hello world. Okay. Print. Got 23. Got 23 name. This chapter, write text, print. Is this? That's weird. Why did that output? I guess because it's within. Okay, so it actually captured that it output this line for some reason, and I'm not sure why. So that must be a something that I don't quite understand about. Um, I guess it's just because we just did it down that line down by itself. Okay, whatever. All right, so great. There we go. So let me just fix that. Um, okay, we got that. We noted that. And then here um, we had, equals pathlib.path. Okay, there we go. Okay. And then what's the next step for contributing to Alice? Okay, so then writing the overlay. Okay, so now, yeah, so this is its own distinct thing, right? So these, they're functions which know how to do this stuff, but they don't really do much for us. So we need to connect them up with the rest of the world, as it were, being then the rest of the world being this recommended community standards. Um, so this is slightly off here, but what we will do is cat to here, and we'll say from alice.cli, and then we will, because that is we haven't changed that yet, um, and we'll change it here too. So Alice. Okay, and let's try to run. Oh wait, so this is actually named that convention. Okay, so okay, yeah, and it didn't like it because okay, so this one didn't like it because it wanted to import my config, and I was, of course, trying to import it in a relative way. So I wonder what's going to happen. Okay, so, all right, so we got to change that. Okay, my config directory. Otherwise, looks like it works. Okay, and now what are we supposed to do? Okay, we're supposed to register our overlays. Okay. That's right. Okay, so and I was going for, I think we should have this hierarchical overlay registration, not really hierarchical, but like object-based or not object based, but basically just like unique entry point based or section based here. This should be the target, and then we should sort of recursively apply all of them that are relevant that get loaded. But that's what we'll do next because I don't think we have enough time to do that now. We'll just focus on just overlaying the recommended community standards. So from that perspective, um, we're being asked to modify the entry points txt. So let's modify the entry points txt. And let's say, okay, yeah, so here, let's add our overlays. So, okay, so get equals, and what we'll call this my config reader. Okay, and this is my config. And this is the other one, which is this long hole thing. And that would be this Alice, please contribute recommended community standards, overlay my config reader. So that's probably, and we'll put them at the end here. Okay. So there's one more piece of this which we haven't implemented yet, which is what if the load call returns a module? And so we'll go over and we'll flip over and we'll implement that after. But yeah, so basically at this point, we reinstall the package. And we should now have, okay, so I did. Duplicate entry point found indeed. Okay, so we should have registered our overlay by now. So now what we can do is we can push this file, this myconfig.json, to the repo, and we should see, let's see, we should see that myconfig reader gets run. So, and we should see a config name. So let's see, git, what directory was this? Okay, so this is in this. My new Python project. Okay, so let's say, let's vim myconfig.json, and we'll put name, my project name. Okay, so great. Okay, so now let's commit that file. Oh, I think it's actually .myconfig.json. Okay, add myconfig with project name. Okay, so now we push that up. Boo. Oh, not boo. We got a successful README contribution, not boo at all. All right, okay, so now git push, and then over here, so now we can rerun, oops. Okay, so we're rerunning this, and it says has no attribute module. Okay, so it's mad at us. Why is it mad at us? Alice, where are we here? Oh, that's the wrong window. Okay. Okay. So it's mad because we're giving it a whole module. At line 576. 576. Okay. So because it says module blank has no attribute module, right? So, but we were not treating it like that. Um, okay, so uh, op amp. Okay, so for class, so let's maybe do if class is if inspect dot is module class. Okay, if yeah, okay. Uh, and then what's that little helper that we have? Read get grep op amps. Oh no, those ones have been decorated. So if inspect is module, okay, class module, inspect get members class, inspect is method, inspect is function. We're going through the class. Let's just split this out. Let's split this out. Hopefully this will be easier for us to deal with. All right, so okay. Object to operations. All right, so, and this, what does this thing do? Well, it takes an object and creates a list of operations after for that object after wrapping them with op. Okay, wrapping any likely targets, functions, methods with op. Okay. Okay. And we'll say module. Okay, so if module is none, then we say, or no, let's actually just say uh, if inspect dot is module uh, object module equals object. And then, all right, so basically, if this thing is module, call us back with the fact that it is a module. If you don't have the module, go grab it from the property there, and then it will blow up as it did before. But it will at least blow up slightly less. Okay, so class qual name. Okay, so op name, class qual name. So let's maybe just do class qual name. Okay, so let's just do path, Python path name. Okay. Okay, so if module is not none, then make the Python path just the module, and then let's see what happens. Okay, and let's just say also, yeah, I meant to do that only for the object tree operations. Okay, class is not defined. Okay, so the class becomes object. Okay, maximum recursion depth exceeded. Oh God. Okay, so if module is not none, else. Okay, yeah. So that should probably be its own path. All right, well, what did we see here? What happened? Did it read the config? Repo directory. Create meta issue. I don't think it could have. Could it? Or wait. What? Okay, so what operations did it instantiate? Instantiating operation, implementation, instantiating. Instantiating operation, implementation, module blank. Okay, something went wrong. So we're not wrapping the right thing. Okay, so maybe it's just the name, Python path. Let's just get in there. Okay. Okay, so we need to figure out something else on this. Module dot qual name, module dot underscore name underscore. Yes, that's what we want. Module dot. Okay. All right. All right. So none is not a module. Okay. Is not none. All right. Let's just erase there. Okay. So what we can do is we can run our uh, diagram, and we can see what's happening. Okay. All right. Let's see. So where is, okay, looks like validate my config. Okay, so now we see, I love this. Okay, so my config project name, validate my config result. Okay, we have an issue here. So this is validate my config and my config project name takes config, both from the same thing. So, oh yeah, this should be my config unvalidated. Okay, that's probably what tripped us up there. Yeah, and this is why we do the data flow. Actually, let's leave that open so we can do a comparison. Or, okay, I lost it, I guess. All right, let's see. Where's the diagram? And do you see it? Oh, there it is. There it is. It's way over here. Repo. Great. Okay, so yeah, so here's the overlay we added, and it's going to basically just grab that repo object. Um, why it has multiple arrows going to it? Probably a config. I'm not sure. Probably a diagram bug. Okay, so let's see. So what happened? Did it run it? Oh my gosh. What? Okay, so where is it? Is it getting run? It should be getting run. So let's take a look at um, the output. Okay, so what is it called? It's called validate my config. Doesn't look like it's getting run anywhere to me. So read my config, read my config from product directory if exists. Okay, dispatch, read my config from directory if exists. Dispatch. Okay, it takes the git repo lock. And here it is. And it says none. You know, did we push this? My config.json. Okay. All right. Where's the my config.json? This is why it's really nice to do it with the um, .myconfig.json. It looks like it's there to me. Okay, let me pause for a moment.